Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Amawan coming to you with another lesson, all in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Qudash. And as always, we give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, continue to teach us this truth. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word and truth and its sincerity, and to the 1/3 of the nation of Israel destined for salvation. To you I say shalom. And this is kind of getting into the whole side of who's going to be saved, man. But first, I want to play a video, and it's a TikTok video. It's a short video, as they usually are, and it's from a book. It's basically, you're going to hear an excerpt from a book called The Narrative of James Roberts, who was he was in the time of the chattel slavery, in the transatlantic slave trade, and I believe he was also a soldier as well. But he goes on to detail many things that he saw in this book, in his times, man, in those times. And one of the things that he details is the practice of breeding on the plantations, man. So, a lot of the times we talk about how, the lineage is proven through the transatlantic slave trade, which is true. But also, you have to understand that these devils, man, these Edomite slave masters were basically, assaulting our women, man, all right, constantly, and breeding them, man. And not just assaulting them for pleasure, but us doing it to breed, man. All right? So this is going to detail that. And then I'm going to read this, man. All right? Because the point of the matter is that not everyone who you think is an Israelite is an Israelite just because, they came through that slave trade, man. All right? Because the devil, these Edomites, Esau, has been very ruthless. And he's been involved in a lot of mixing of seeds, man, or mixing up the seed line, So let me see if I can play this video, and I'll get into it a bit more.
This TikTok contains a historical description of the enslaved breeding practice during American chattel slavery. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following is a reading from a primary source document entitled The Narrative of James Roberts, 1858. Chapter 6. Breeding and Selling Mulattoes on the Calvin Smith Plantation or the Bargras Farm. The full text of this narrative is available online at Documenting the American South, a digital publishing initiative sponsored by the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
From 50 to 60 head of women were kept constantly for breeding. No man was allowed to go there, save white men. From 20 to 25 children a year were bred on that plantation. As soon as they are ready for market, they are taken away and sold as mules or other cattle. Many a man buys his own child. That is the cause of the rapid increase of the mixed race. The Anglo-Saxon must blame himself for all the consequences that may result in time or eternity from such an unnatural state of things. I have seen brothers and sisters married together, and their children, some of them as white as any person in the world. These children marry among the whites. Their children are white, and these have slaves in turn, after being slaves themselves. On Wade Hamilton's farm, the same process went on to a great extent, each planter competing to see who could raise the greatest number of mulattoes a year for market, as they bring a higher price than the blacks. The same as men strive to raise the most stock of any kind: cows, sheep, horses.
I know no error more consuming to an estate than that of stocking farms with men almost exclusively. I consider a woman who brings a child every 2 years as more profitable than the best man on the farm. What she produces is an addition to the capital. while his labors disappear in mere consumption.
So yeah, that's it. So you know, feel free to rewind that and listen to that again. So as you can see, you know, and there's no such thing as mixing, man. What those Edomites, those devils that was in control back then, those slave masters, what they were doing were producing more Edomites. All right, and that goes to show how wicked they are, and their lack of knowledge as well. Because not only are they producing Edomites by basically assaulting, and you know what type of assault I mean. I'm just trying to be cool on this YouTube, because you know how they work sometimes. They use any means to mess around with your content. But you know what I'm saying when I'm saying assaulted, right? So he's doing that, and he's enslaving his own children, man. And then his children growing up thinking that they're Edomites, or thinking that they're so-called white people, in turn enslaving more people, man, and enslaving their own people, not understanding what their predecessors have been doing, man. So all this talk of who's who in that, man, really and truly, it's all through the Spirit. And when Yahweh Shai comes back, that's when we're gonna know who's who out here, man. All right. There's a lot of people walking around, claiming they're this, that, and the other, and they don't really understand, man. You know, like you can take as many DNA tests as you want, man, but Esau's technology with that is false, man. All right, so we have to, you hear a lot of these old school Israelites, man, talking about these specific DNA codes that prove that they're this, that, and the other. Listen, man, this the scriptures say the Spirit itself beareth witness to our spirit, man. What's that? Romans 8:16, I believe. The Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the Most High, man. All right, so it's through the Spirit, right? And it's obviously, and it is through certain actions, all right. Jakes do certain things, man. Jake's, we have a saying, you can't fake Jake, man. All right, you can't fake Jake. 9 times out of 10, I can tell when someone who thinks they are a so-called black person or is posing as one. 9 times out of 10, I can tell when their father is an Edomite. I'm hardly ever wrong on that, because you can judge things through the Spirit, man. But Yahweh Shai is going to be the ultimate judgment. So let's read this anyway. So this is Matthew 13:24. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. And you could say that we were sleeping, man, in those times, man, because we didn't know who we. By that time, Esau had already took away the knowledge of ourselves, man, who we were, man. Well, the Lord done it through Esau, right? So he sowed his seed among our people, man. All right, he sowed his seed among our people. That's why you have a lot of these so-called blacks on social media who are sellouts, man. Because a lot of these guys, their lineage is is of the Edomites, man. Their lineage is of Esau. That's why there's one particular guy on TikTok who's always telling racial jokes about so-called blacks, man. And he says, he talks with a particular accent that we'd call like a Cockney accent, like an East London accent, right? Very much like how a lot of so-called white people speak here in London, man, of the lower class, of the so-called lower classes, right? And he says, he can say these things because he's black, but his mum is black, man. His mum is a so-called black woman. his dad is an Edomite, man. So he's an Edomite, and that is why he has that spirit on him to do those things, man. Because really and truly, he's an Edomite. This is not about skin color, man. This is about the spirits of people, right? And if you can discern it, then you can know who's who, man, to a degree. All right. But like I said, the ultimate judge of that is going to be Yahweh Shai, man. So let me read on. It says, "But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also." And the reason why it's described as wheat and tares, because if you ever seen what wheat and tares look like, wheat brings forth, food, man. It's there's a word I'm trying to think of, but I can't think of it right now. But it has a use, man. Tares are useless. They only look like the wheat, but you can't make bread from them. Let's put it like that. You can make bread from wheat, but you can't do anything with the tares, man. All right, they're fruitless. Let's put it like that. It's fruitless, man. All right, whereas the wheat brings forth substance. It says, verse 27 says, "So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, this not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this." And who's the enemy, man? Esau, man. The Edomites, they are the number one enemy, man. And not just of us, of the whole entire planet, man, the world, man, all the nations. But mainly they are our number one enemy, man. It says, "The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them." Because you can't discern, man. You don't know which is which. That's why when we're on the streets, we're not picking and choosing who we want to talk to. No, we're simply out there. Or when we're doing these videos, we're simply teaching this to call out to the elect, man. And the Lord says, "What? My sheep hear my voice, man." So we're not picking like certain people do when they're out teaching. Like, we're not looking at people and trying to, just because they have a particular skin color, you want to talk to them, man. All right? That's not how it works. It says, "Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn." So let's just quickly go somewhere. So Obadiah chapter verse 15 says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions." Right? And it doesn't say, upon all blacks, right, shall be deliverance, right? It's not, because this is not about skin color, man. This is about a nation of people, man. Numbers 1:18 tells you that lineage goes through the father, man. So wherever your father is what you are, no matter what you look like. So if you look like an Edomite and your great great grandfather was a Israelite, man, then that's what you are. All right? It goes through the fathers, man. The line goes through the fathers. It says, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it." Right, so Esau's going to get burnt up, man, eventually, after he serves out his chattel slavery. Right, but we're not going to do it in the wickedness that he done it, man. Ours will be done in righteousness. Certain things that he did to us, although we have to repay him in kind, certain things that he did, we won't do because it's not in our ways. It's not in the Lord's ways. So like, it's not the Lord's way, man. We have laws. We are governed by proper laws, man, statutes and commandments. All right. What Esau did was evil. We're not going to be dealing. We're not going to be dealing with him through evilness, man. It's going to be done through righteousness, and what he gets is what he deserves. So let's go back to Matthew 13. Finish this off. So let's jump down now. Right, so the tears explain. It says, then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. So even, just to make a point, even when Yahushua is teaching the masses, right, the disciples still needed the breakdowns, man. That hence the reason why they're called disciples, man. It says, and he answered unto them, and he answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. Right, that's Yahushua, man. It says the field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Right? So the children of the kingdom, man, only the Israelites can inherit the kingdom, man. Right? I'm not going to go into the scriptures because that's obvious by now. The Lord is only dealing with Israel, right? And when it's not talking about their place, right? Those fake ones out there, we're talking about the Israelites, man, the true sons of the living power, man. Through the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? But those that are promised, that have the promises, I must add that, because remember, Ishmael's also of the, well, I said Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, so that kills that anyway. All right. But a lot of people want to talk about Abraham and his other sons, man. But the line goes through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. That's the lineage. So it says the field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. And the wicked one is who? Esau. Esau's the wicked one, man. His actions alone tell you that. He might want to deny it. He likes to put his image on us, so we look like we are the evil ones. But it's him. It says the enemy that sowed them is the devil, the deceiver. Esau again. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. Right? So when Yahushua comes back, man, he's going to know who's who, man. He's going to know who's going into captivity, right? And he's going to know who's going to be of the elect and saved, and he's going to know who's not of the elect of our people and who have to perish, right? But come back in the kingdom, right? The ones that look like our people but are not of our people, man, they're either going to perish or be put into captivity, man. And those that are of our people are going to come back in the kingdom through childbirth, man. They're going to be have that reincarnation, man, that the scriptures so often speak about. It says, as therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. See, all things that offend, right? So that's not just talking about the Edomites, man. That's all the heathens, and the heathens are our people. It says, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire, and there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. And that furnace of fire is what? Those nukes, man. Those nuclear missiles, man. Those ICBMs, man. That World War III. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. So, if you can receive it, man, you will receive it. And that's talking to Israel, man, because only Israel can receive it anyway. So yeah, man, just a quick one. A little one is edification in there, man. So the point of this is, as much as it's said, we're not here to decide who's who. That's down to Yahweh Shai, man. Alright, we know who is supposed to be who, right? According to the scriptures, man. But, like it says, man, like that James Roberts concludes in his book, chapter 6 of his book, that, that's prophecy, man, as well. He was showing you, he was showing you that prophecy. That's the prophecy coming true there, man. Right? He was showing you that. Esau mixing up himself with our women, man, bringing forth a wicked seed line, man, bringing forth the wicked seed through our women, and that's still happening today. You see a lot of our women hooking up with these Edomites, man, and all they're doing is bringing more Edomites into the world, man. So yeah, man. With that, give all the praise and all glory to Yahweh Shem Shai once more, and I'll say Shalom.